All right, let me introduce you to my favorite build in Path of Exile right now, and that is using Exsanguinate. Exsanguinate is an overpowered skill at the moment, and if you don't believe me, pop on a Arc build, play Arc, and then pop on an Exsanguinate and play Exsanguinate. Exsanguinate is like Arc, but it shoots out way more tendrils, and it's significantly better. Way more damage, and it starts as a physical base, which you can convert into any element you want. Now, this build is relatively inexpensive. The version I have is pretty pricey because I'm using Awakened Spell Echo and Awakened Chain. But aside from that, none of these items are really that pricey. You're probably going to want a ring with this 4% physical damage leached as life because Exsanguinate is extremely expensive with its life cost. I have Vitality and that's my only life regeneration, and I cannot sustain a long instance of casting Exsanguinate. You see my life going down to nothing. So I bought this ring here for 20C to get the physical damage leeches life, and then I just hit it with a bunch of stuff until I got something good enough, and this is good enough. Life regeneration's nice. Rarity I just hit with an Exalted, haven't got it. 16 to all res, cold, and lightning resistance. And I need to pump that up in order, pump up the, I always forget those things are called. Catalyst. The resistance catalysts, which are really hard to find and actually pretty pricey. So if you want some money, farm these catalysts, might be a good idea. But anyways, this is probably my favorite build in the game. It is really cheap and easy to get going. All you need is 2 void batteries, a badge of the Brotherhood, and these gloves. Void batteries you can get for about 15C. Badge of the Brotherhood you can get around 100C. And then this goes anywhere from 30 to like 2 divine, depending on how high you want that increased effective impales. I have the currency, so I went with 50%. If you don't have the currency, you can go lower. 1 to 2 divines, you can get a version of this build up and running, and it's probably one of the more powerful builds you can get for that price point. Now, in terms of defenses, you're going to want to go low life with energy shield. And the reason you want to go low life with energy shield and not just energy shield is because you got a low energy shield on your gloves, and it's just a little bit hard to get that high on the energy shield. And a big part of that is you have this amulet, which you can't get energy shield or evasion on your amulet. So I recommend low life, grabbing pain attunement, using all the low life mechanics. I am using Herald of Purity, Pride, Grace, Vitality, Petrified Blood, and War Banner. You can go Banner of whatever to get more evasion, but War Banner increases the physical damage the enemies around you take by 8% or something like that. 11% right now. And so I like that. That's 11% more damage, and that's pretty good for 10% of your mana. Right now my mana is a little outbalanced. I have too much mana. I need something else to use this mana reservation. That's a big reason I didn't path up to here and grab these, is I'm already a little over bloated on mana, so I might need to rebalance things. I'm grabbing this to give me increased life reservation because I am doing Herald of Purity in an arrogance support with Vitality. I'm rocking these 2 bad boys, and I could probably balance this out, maybe put Corrupted Blood in here or something like that. I don't really need mana, so I can't do the standard precision, vitality, clarity setup inside of an arrogance situation. But anyways, you can set this up however you want. As long as you get the void batteries, the badge of the Brotherhood, and the entropic devastation, you are good to go. And if you're poor, you can just drop the Awakened Chain for Chain, and you can drop the Awakened Spell Echo for Spell Echo, and you don't need this chest piece. This chest piece was pretty hot a while ago, and people stopped using it because there's other chest pieces out there. The big popular chest piece right now is the one that converts physical damage into one of the elements. You can totally run that chest piece. That's completely fine. But with spell suppression, your elemental damage is mostly taken care of, and with high evasion, your physical damage is mostly taken care of. And with this setup, 35% less damage taken if you have not been hit recently, plus another 20%, and then when you do get hit, you get more evasion. So when you get hit with a physical hit, it's already getting reduced by 55%. And I'm running this flask here, which is going to, for the most part, keep me at 3 endurance charges. So that is going to be another, I think, 12% physical damage reduction. So I have some pretty good physical damage reduction layers. And let's just do a quick look at how I have set this up. Run over here, grab that bad boy. I'm using this flask, gain 4 charges per empty flask in conjunction with this bad boy here because I wanted to recover 4% of life whenever I use a flask. I put that in there before I crafted this ring. I don't really want to path it out. I kind of like these nodes anyways. They give me more flask effect and all that kind of jazz. So I'm just going to keep it for now. But you can not do that if you have this. But I like the gaining 4% of life when the flask are popped. So that's what I'm running in there. You can remove these, fully optional. All of this is fully optional, but this is just how I prefer to run it. These bad boys here are actually really strong for the build, and then you get this 40% increased damage with spells that cost life. That's just that 40% increased damage. Really nice. 30% increased physical, plus 30 strength, plus overwhelm 10% of physical damage. Also really nice. You want to get a little bit of overwhelm physical damage, but not too much, because most enemies don't have a lot of physical resistances. Anyways, another reason Exsanguinate is so overpowered is physical damage is much better than elemental damage, unless you put a lot of effort into stripping their elemental resistances. Now going through, I just grab the hybrid nodes, large cluster jewels. Both of them I think are the same. If you're going to go determination, which you totally could do, this battle hardened provides so much value because you get 30% increased evasion and armor plus 35% physical damage. This is a huge node if you're going determination. It's just a good node if you're going grace. And by good, I mean great. It's a great across the board. So these would be, I'd recommend one of these, this guy, and this guy. And on the other one, you can forego the overwhelm 10% of physical damage reduction if you really want to, and go for something else. Like if you need some more resistances, like I actually do need more resistances, the master the fundamentals, which gives you 10% elemental resistances, increased physical damage but reduced elemental damage. That one's also quite solid. I'd prefer that over Furious Assault because my cast speed is already fast enough, and I'd rather have the resistances. I am using some expensive tech in this amulet, this jewel here. This is how I'm getting elemental ailment immunity. If you don't want to run that, you can run purity of elements if you choose, or you can just let the elements hit you and die from time to time if you do not care about dying. I am immune to almost everything. I need a few more poison avoidance. Right now I am at 75%. I need to grab a couple more and slap them on there. But in order to do so, I have to overwrite some of the ones I already put on there, like either this 2% spell suppress, or this flask effect duration, or this cold resistances. Oh, there's a global defenses. I can drop that one pretty easy to get another 15% poison avoidance. But poison is pretty much the only thing that can hit me at the moment. I'm getting bleed immunity on this amulet here. This is one of my favorite one of my favorite rings when you're running low life, because all damage coming into you is unlucky, and unlucky damage is really good. Really, really good. Yeah, so that is the build. I'm going to run 4, what do you call these guys? Elder bosses. Each one is just rolled in a way which I should be able to do it. Nothing super hard, but nothing super easy. These are legitimately difficult maps. About as difficult as you can get in the map department, not including bossing or like 100% delirious. And it's just a smooth experience, as you will see. And this build, it's fast, it's smooth, it's strong. And for me, it's just extremely satisfying to play. Hopefully there's no immune to physical. I stopped reading them. I mean, I barely read as it is. But I stopped reading those, and I just click them. And if it doesn't work, then I run away. But it's just so much faster with the big bomb. Probably my second favorite Atlas update that they've had. The first, obviously, being the map strategy with Maven, where you get additional bosses in every boss room. I really like that one. It has created a lot of wealth for me. And not only a lot of wealth, it's kind of intense and fun to get 3 bosses at the exact same time. So I like that node a lot. And this build is just extremely fast. And when you're running the elusive node instead of the crit node, it's a little uncontrollable for me. I don't have the eyes and the hands to be able to handle a build this fast, especially if you get a boss like the boss on the reef, where you have to like move around in a tight little circle. I will lose my mouse, and then my character will go into the water and die. You see, I am just clearing shit out. This build is excellent and very fun. Right now, I'm probably at 3 million deeps for mapping. That's all you really need. It might be a little higher than that. I'm not very good at Path of Building. I don't play it that often. I find Path of Exile better than Path of Building, but to each their own. If you want to Path of Building it out, play some Path of Building hero, you go right ahead. You can tune this up, probably get to 5 million really easy, but topping 6 million deeps is gonna be a little difficult without some awkward converting and doing some weird stuff. Your basic physical Impale, you're looking at 6 million at the upper limits, unless you really min-max this. I can't imagine anyone going above probably 20 million with this kind of build. That would be the absolute upper limit. And if you get 20 million with this, it's going to feel just nutty and silly. And, you know, it might even be too much. You might say, okay, that's too much. No more fun is being had because everything dies when I just look at it. You want to at least see the things before you kill it. And the high evasion is just so smooth. So smooth. After playing my thick Chieftain, Righteous Fire, and all the other janky thick non-evasion Chieftain stuff and Juggernaut stuff I've been playing, it feels good to pop back into an elusive assassin with Exsanguinate. It just feels so good. This build, right now I'm having a blast. I am shooting my tendrils everywhere. I am killing and off-screening. That Awakened Chain is just glorious. Now for frenzy charges, I'm actually just using a little bit of frenzy to pop in there. And for cursing, oh my god, I only survived from ward right there. Thank god for that ward flask. Damage over time, still a bit of a problem. It's always a problem for me. I got the 10% reduced damage taken over time Mantheon set. Beyond that, I got nothing for damage over time. I just gotta avoid it. I wonder if there is a plugin or an app that screams at me when I'm on damage over time. I really need that. I need a big, loud audio cue that's like, "You're on damage over time!" Something that just screams at me so I know to move. I never know when I'm on damage over time until it's too late. I'm already dead by the time I even notice that I'm standing in a damage over time pool. And my frenzy charges have dropped. I wonder if there's any enemies around. I hate the wait times for these bosses and using charges. Always a downside of a charge build is the fact that whenever you go into a boss, your charges are gone. So I'm going to hit him with some frenzy a few times before I get started. It's plenty of damage for this level of gameplay. You see, I just wipe the floor with them. You kill them so quickly. And there we go. One down. Easy breezy. Lemon squeezy. Now you'll see me gaining frenzy charges on kill. I got that from my timeless jewel, a 5% chance to gain frenzy charges on kill. It works just fine for mapping, but it doesn't work for bossing. So that's why I just have the little frenzy on my second click. But you don't need to do that while mapping. See, like right now, because I have this movement speed flask, if I had the elusive passive, I wouldn't be able to control this character pretty much at all. It would just be too fast. And that's why I dropped it. But I do think that's a better node. Mostly because you can't be crit while you have elusive, and you pretty much always have elusive. So it removes the threat of crit. And you already have unlucky damage. So you see my life pool is super low, but because everything is unlucky coming at me, if they also can't crit, the odds of them killing me in one shot is pretty low. The danger comes from being surrounded and hit multiple times, but that danger is pretty limited in most cases. Ooh, logbooks. That's actually why I built this build, is it's really good at Sanctum. At least it was during Sanctum Lead. I played a build similar to this on Sanctum Lead, and I would clear Sanctums every time without fail. It was excellent. But I have a bunch of Sanctum Tomes. I'm going to do a whole Sanctum day. Probably when I hit level 94, 95, I'm just going to do Sanctum Day. And I'm going to run all Sanctums. So you got that to look down for. Because you're definitely not looking forward to it, because it's me. No one's looking forward to my shit. You come on here to hate watch, and you know, that's exactly why I'm here. Hate watch this shit to death. I'm not a very good Path of Exile player, and this is pretty quick. At least it feels pretty quick to me. It's obviously not lightning warp tornado shot quick, but it's pretty damn fast. And if you know your playstyle and you know you're better than me, you're faster than me, you can just picture yourself playing this build, and you're going to be zooming right on through. Oh gosh. I have no patience, and I hate waiting. I have so many of those, I should just leave it on the ground. You can get some free frenzy charge stacks when they're phasing. No other bosses? Aw, I didn't give me my extra bosses. In terms of mapping strategy, using the, I mean, I talk about it in basically every video. Using this bad boy here is spectacular. I mean, look what it has done to my maps. 105 of these total, just from running a few maps. It's excellent. It is superb. If you haven't tried that as an alt-go map strategy, alt-go has never been stronger than it has been right this moment, and that's usually my favorite playstyle. I mean, I liked ultra juicing a little better, but when ultra juicing was in its peak, you'd be in a map for like, I don't know, 40 minutes to an hour because of the amount of league content they would throw in that map when you did 100% delirious on it and all the loot that you had to extract. It was a bit nutty. And now it's just alt-go, it's less nutty. And you can't see it, but I am off-screening so many enemies with this Exsanguinate. The Tendril's chain range is just monstrous. It's absolutely stupendous. And you are just off-screening everything. And if you see my life, it actually sustains itself now that I got that physical damage regeneration ring. And it's just smooth now. It's just smooth. I get a leech enough to get my life back. And again, these are delirious maps. I have delirium basically in every map, so they are not the easiest of maps. It's not like I'm running some cush regular T16 maps. These are Guardian maps with delirium, and I am breezing through them with the ease of something that's easy. I got nothing smart to say there. If you think you can run this without spell suppression, you'd be wrong. Spell suppression is kinda mandatory. Elemental damage is brutal, and if you don't have spell suppression, you're just gonna get wrecked by spells, because you can't dodge spells with your Grace Evasion aura. So spell suppression is mandatory. I have lucky spell suppression. I'm only at 65%, which I think puts me at like a 95% spell suppression rate, so I probably need a little bit more, but 65 is working pretty well. You saw me so far, I haven't died 2 maps in, and this is the worst of the bosses. And he got me. If I were to die, it would be on that boss. And I could have avoided that by playing more gooder. But I didn't play more gooder Bestis. And after he phases, I'll focus on getting some frenzy charges. And he is slowing me and stunning me. I might not got this in the bag. Something in this map is really messing with my build. What do we got here? Feels like increased attack speed. Yep, 54% increased attack speed, cast speed, maim, buffs. Yeah, so this is just a pretty rough map in general, but it's the cast speed, and he's slowing me when he hits me. So yeah, this is a tough boss with the map mods. Now, if you want to play this and not die and play it really defensively, the objective is to keep your energy shield up. And when you don't have energy shield, you kind of bail out until you get your energy shield back up. Or you just burst them down and make them phase. But those Maven damage over time pulls that she puts on her bosses are brutal. But now that I got my frenzy charges almost to 9, I should be able to just burst them down. Nope. Can't burst him down because he just gonna kill me. And that's where spell suppression is absolutely mandatory on a boss like this. If I didn't have spell suppression, there would be no shot. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna clear it. But without spell suppression, there would be no shot. Absolutely no shot. Which I don't actually like, that spell suppression is so mandatory for evasion builds. Gah, I need to pay attention to faster cast speed and never run these bosses with faster cast speed. That cast speed is brutal. Got the W after a few deaths. Sad and pathetic showing. Complete skill issue. Make sure there's no increase to cast speed. Area of effect might be an issue, but it should be fine. They have 40% physical damage reduction, and I do physical damage. So that'll be a little rough, but 40% reduced damage isn't that much of a big deal. Immune to lightning. And you can't see it, but I am off-screening enemies all over the place. I have so many logbooks. I will never get through the amount of logbooks I have. It's like 50. I'm gonna have to do a logbook day. Last day I'm gonna do is leg day. No one wants to do that. So I got a rectum day, a logbook day. Now there's a fraction of a second where I am pretty vulnerable when my endurance charges drop off. Oh, you can't see it because of the shrine. One of my resistances is only at 71 because I need to get more of those resistance catalysts. Or, you know, just fix it. But I just go with it. I have my endurance charges up most of the time. Whenever that flask recasts, it drops my endurance charges for a flip of a second. Then it puts them right back. Oh, I wasn't even fighting him. I have very poor accuracy with this Frenzy, so you'll see that I miss with it a lot. So it does take a bit to get those Frenzy charges up. But it's no big deal. It's not that much of an issue. Those multiple bosses are cool. See, if I had elusive effect, it would just be too fast. I couldn't handle it. Couldn't control it. That was the death soundtrack. Good thing I didn't, you know, make it a self-fulfilling prophecy. Alright, map done. Now let's fight the boss. The boss. Reflect Elemental, Chain, Monsters blind on hit, extra maximum life is Energy Shield. See, I'm re-rolling that because that sucks. I hate the extra life is Energy Shield. Unless I'm doing a Chaos build. Endurance Charge, I don't like the cast speed. The cast speed becomes a problem. Spell Suppress is a bit of a problem. I mean, all those I could do, I just don't want to. I swear the game scans your build and just puts the worst stats for your build. Invulnerability, Enfeeble, more life, extra damage is fire. I'm pretty sure that's going to double, because unique bosses have 35% more life, and then 46% more monster life. I think that's going to double up. I'll pass. I'll pass on that one. Did have an 81% though, which was pretty high. This one is perfect. You can't run Physical Reflect. You can't really run Elemental Reflect unless you remove Frost Blink. Or you just don't use it, but if you have Frost Blink, you're gonna use it. And regen is basically a problem for everyone, but you can run it if you really want to. Are they stealing my charges? Where are my frenzy charges going? Probably just the the Badge of the Brotherhood. So this has been my absolute favorite build in Path of Exile 3.22. Exsanguinate, Impale, Assassin with a splash of Trickster. And in terms of loot strategy, that's pretty good because you get a lot of these. And then I just sell these bad boys for 1.2 divines a pop. And you saw I just got 5. You can time this video. I think it's been like 30 minutes. So every 30 minutes, you get a Maven's Wart. Then you sell that for 1.2 divine. So at minimum, this is a 1.2 divine in our loot strategy, which is, I have no clue. I don't really focus on loot strategies. Might be bad, it might be good. I like it because it's fun and enjoyable to play. You end up with a lot of these bosses. You end up with a lot of fun currency, a lot of fun stuff to do. That is the build. I'll put a POB in there if you're interested. And then